Irish Parliament, questions on policy or legislation?
The examiner in their own analysis indicated possibly up to 20%, not from my own conversations with people in medical professions, with undertakers, priests and so many others, they concur that there is what appears to be an increased number of people who have been dying. Has there been analysis conducted on what might be causing it, or have any explanations been identified?
God doesn't really want to ask that question, but he's forced to, because unlike during the pandemic when there was no health crisis experienced or observed, now there is, caused by, well, the obvious. And the way he asks the question, it's flawed. He says, has there been any analysis? And then he says, or is there any explanation, as though they're two separate things? Well, that's just part of the process. You do the analysis and you get an explanation. What, is he inferring you can have an explanation without analysis?
It does seem that there has been an increase in excess deaths this winter relative to other winters.
Seems to be, is avoiding an admission.
It seems it's not a phenomenon unique to Ireland. It's an international one, and I have asked the CMO for her opinion and advice on it.
In 2020, when all they had was modelling that people might die, here in Australia and no doubt all around the world, there was multiple task force advisory committees, a national cabinet, with a whole of government, finance and industry response. And even with statistics from the 2020 and 2021 flu seasons, deaths were only of people over life expectancy. The hysterical, crazy response remained. But now they've got 20% excess deaths in Ireland. We've got about 18 to 20. The response is only after being pushed. I might get the CMO to look into that. I might get one person to look into it.
The likelihood is that it's related to a number of factors. Influenza, RSV and COVID all circulating in the community. People's immunity is not what it was because of social distancing throughout the pandemic. People's immunity isn't as strong as it would have been if they'd been out and about picking up viruses.
He says the likelihood is, before he lists off a heap of things that are vague, well, where did he get that information from if he hasn't been to the CMO yet? And he got to do that because the way the question was asked at the start was flawed.
And then there's also the issue of unmet health need, the fact that large parts of our health service were effectively closed down during the pandemic restrictions.
Well, that contributing factor you don't need to go to the CMO for, because people could testify that by saying, I didn't get tested for cancer, now I'm going to die.
And people didn't get the health care that they would have otherwise got. But that's all just opinions at the moment. We don't have any data to really back that up.
Excess deaths started at the beginning of 2022, so after more than a year, he casually says, oh, we don't have any data on it. Yeah, not interested. Why would we be? But now, is he going to launch, mobilise thousands of people to start analysing the deaths and go over the autopsies and all that and try to find out exactly what's causing these excess deaths?
And I have asked for her thoughts on it.
So he doesn't say, we're going to go and get data on these excess deaths, get an explanation, start doing autopsies, starting to dissect people, finding out what the hell went wrong with them. Now, there's one big obvious reason why they will never do that themselves. He replaces an in-depth investigation with, I'll ask for her thoughts on that. That's the entirety of the Irish government's response to an extra 20% people dying. Now, people need to remember this. When they try and run this next pandemic based on modelling, this attitude needs to be thrown back in their faces. So hang on a minute, when there was 20% excess deaths, there were no committees, there was no lockdowns, you didn't have media reporters everywhere. All you said was, I'll just get the CMO's thoughts. Well, that's the benchmark now. Unless there is a health crisis that is causing way more than 20% excess deaths, 100%, then you might start lockdowns. But at 20% excess deaths, I'll get some thoughts. That's the benchmark.